All right, so it is a beautiful day here in Pennsylvania. It is currently 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and yeah, it's not too bad. It's a t-shirt weather. But today what we're going to be working on is some acacia trees. So let's go take a look at those. All right, so the first acacia tree is this one right here. And as you can see, it is growing like crazy. Here is the very top of it right up there. So yeah, it is getting quite big. So we have this huge leader, and today we're going to do a really big prune back on it. So let's dive in. All right, let's get our tools going here. So let me just take off some of these rocks. Just had them on there because it was getting weighed down like crazy. So it kept on getting blown over. And you might be able to see this branch here that was on the tree. And at one point it fell over and it broke off. So yeah, that's dead. So we're not even gonna worry about that. All right, so here we go with this monster cut. So all of this, which could be probably like 4 feet of growth, we're gonna take it back to right here. So here we go. Huge cut. Wow, look at that. Monstrous. There it is. Well, you could say it's a bit of a different tree now. But you know, it's pruning it for the future. So what do we do next? My first thing I want to do is snip this back a little bit. So let's just do a little snip there, leaving room for dieback. And I think I want to snip this back at least to right here. We have a bud right here and a bud right there. So I'm going to snip that back to here. And we have a bud here and a bud here. And then we'll snip that back to here. Over on this side, this is a little long. We have a bud right here and there. So I think we are safe to snip right here. And this one, I'm not sure. Do we want that? I don't know. I can snip this off. A little dead bit. I think we can clean up this cut a little bit. It's a little bit weird. So wow. All right, that's a little bit better. Get rid of some of this stuff down here. Little clovers and such. Part of me thinks maybe I should repot this. Let's clean up this little bit down here. Clean that up. You know what? I don't know if we even need this one right here at the very bottom, because I don't think we want a branch growing that low. Do we? Probably not. Yeah, we're gonna prune this bottom branch off here. Adios. And I think even this bottom one as well. Some bold moves today. Look at this thing. We have a legit stick in a pot. Now, do I cut these back, or do I just let it grow? I think I just let it grow from this point. I might be able to do a repot on it. I probably could do a repot. I'm sure it'd be fine. Yeah, we're doing a repot on this one, so let us get this one out of the soil. Whoa, look at that. Now I did water this morning, so it's probably, well, it's not, it is wet. So let's get to work on these roots and get rid of some of this extra stuff we don't need. All right, so we have a lot going on here. So let me clean this off and we'll be right back. All right, so we have a lot going on right here. Let's see, what are we gonna do? I think the first thing I wanna do is get rid of some of this taproot right here, because there's a lot going on there that we do not need. Yeah, look at all that. So I'm gonna first nibble back at it right here. So that's our first snip. And this bit here, here, and here. So all of this root right here is gone. I did just take off a whole lot right there, so I don't want to go nuts, but I do want to take off some of these big bits. I think I can get away with getting rid of this right here. I can snip this back probably to here. Oh man, I could do a big move and just get rid of this huge taproot. And I'm debating doing that because I do have some finer roots over on this side. I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take a risk and just get rid of that taproot so that in the future I don't have to worry about it. Because the sooner I get rid of this large taproot, the sooner I'm not gonna be running into any other future issues. So I'm gonna get rid of it right around here, right there. Here we go. Oops, didn't get it all the way through. There we go. That is a thick one. That's about the thickness of the actual trunk right there. And I'm gonna just clean that up a little bit. Get rid of this guy, this one that's going up. Maybe even these two here. Maybe that there. Clean up some of these nubs. Maybe just a little bit more here. I think that will do. That was probably like 90% of the roots. But this is an acacia. This thing grew back very vigorously last year. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. Time will tell, right? All right, so let's get this in some fresh soil. All right, so we're gonna put this right back into this plastic pot. Yeah, not too bad. And we'll get our drainage screens. Now, unfortunately, my my bonsai soil was outside in the rain. Forgot to put a cover on it, so it's a little bit wet, but it's not a big deal. It's gonna get wet again when I water it, so no big deal. So let's get some soil in here. All right, there we go. All right, here we go. A little bit of water on there. All right, water's going through, that's good. I might have to add a little bit more soil onto this. You can see some of the dirty soil coming through. It'll slowly get cleaner and cleaner the more the water runs through. I want to get all that bonsai dust out of there. And yeah, we'll just let that run out for a little bit. All right, so that one is done. So yeah, it's in good shape, and we will let this grow over the winter and come back to it in the spring. So yeah, let's go grab another one. All right, so we have our next one here, and this one is also pretty dang big. It's also extending the little work area here. So this one's developing nicely. It is a little straight, so I think I want to do some prunes back on this one as well. So we have some nice lower branches here at the bottom that we'll probably keep, but it looks like we have some dieback on some of these other little branches. The soil is okay. Maybe could use a repot, but I'm gonna leave it for now. Maybe we'll attack that at a future date. But yeah, at least we're going to prune this back and go from there. So let's get into it. So we're gonna start by pruning this back to probably right here. And at least to right here. All right, that's looking better. Now we're in a little bit more of a manageable shape. So, what do we want to do? Let's snip this back a little bit. I think this is too long. Yeah, it's still alive. At first I thought that was dead, but it's not. And I think I want to snip this back to at least right here for now. So looking over this tree, we have our first branch here, and I don't even think that's alive. Let me just do a quick snip. No, that's dead. Yep, dead all the way back to there. Let's prune that back just a hair. This, I think, is still alive, so we'll leave that. I think this is dead. Yep, that's dead, so that goes all the way back to here. How about this part? Yep, that's dead. That's dead. So we'll take this all the way back to here. But this. Oh, silly me, I just burned that one. Oh well. Yowza. Oh well. How about this one? Yeah, that's dead. That's not too bad. Maybe we'll get some, probably get some growth off of that one there. There's a bud. You know, I don't even know if I want that one now that I'm looking at it. Because I like where this is growing right here. Because if this continues to grow right here, and then this grows here, I don't even know if I want that section there, and it's on the inside of this little curve. So let's take that off altogether. Or do we keep this one or this one? So if we have this little bud down there and this one right here, I think I want to get rid of this one up here. Let's do that. Yeah, I think that was a good call. We'll clean up this cut here. Part of me wants to bring this back all the way down too. Like, this is a long section where there's nothing. Like, what if I bring it down to like right here? There is a bud, a dormant bud right there. The benefit is we do have this little Y section up there, but do we want it to already start to break off into two right there? I'm not sure. Oh man, could make a nice cutting if I cut this off right here and just make that its own little tree, shove it in some sand, and try to grow its own. I think for the benefit of the tree, if I were to cut it back to like right here, I think that would help. And I'm gonna do that right here, actually. There we go. Gone. Oh man. I like what's going on here. We have some nice movement, like natural, obvious clip and grow. It came up right here. I clipped it back here, continued to grow here. Then I grew it up again right there. So I'm digging that movement right there. Although, not a whole lot of taper between these, but there is some movement. So yeah, we'll leave that here and see what this looks like in the spring. So some hard prunes today, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. All right, let's move on to something else. All right, and the last one I'm going to prune up today is my Acacia with a little elephant on here, kind of a penjing, if you will, or at least I will build it eventually into one. So this one is another one that needs to be pruned back because it is super tall. So I'm going to dive in right away and prune this one back. So let's do this. All right, so I think I'm going to prune this really long branch right around here. Here we go. There it is. Probably maybe about 18 to 2 feet long, 18 inches to 2 feet long. Somewhere around there. All right, it's still looking a little shaggy, but it's not as tall anymore. So I think this one, this branch that's coming right out at us, I can prune back because we have a bud right here, there, and here. So I think this is a safe bet right here. And over behind the elephant, we have at least 2 buds right here. So this is a pretty safe bet. There's this long bit in the back. We have a bud here and a bud here. So at least to here we'll be fine. We're just kind of cutting back some of these long extensions that we don't want. There's this branch here that is kind of going inside of our elephant's mouth, but I don't think it's a good place for a branch to be because it's kind of right in front of our view. So that is coming off. Another branch here that's just going straight down. I don't know if you can see that one right there. We don't want that. Another branch in here, this one here, that is kind of in an awkward spot. If I'm going to keep this elephant here, I don't know if I want that there. There's a little branch back here that I think I can snip off, so that one's going away. There's this big branch that I feel confident snipping back to here. So our trunk comes up and we have a branch right here and a branch right there at the same section. And I'm thinking I want to get rid of this branch here because I don't want these two so close together. So this one's going away. In that same spot that I just snipped right there, there's another branch here that can come off. And this other little branch right here that can come off. This one's really coming out at a weird angle. I don't even know if I want that. I know I want to take that off. I'm gonna snip it back for now. I think this one back here can come off. And this one. I'm gonna see what's gonna happen with this little tiny bud back there. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to snip off this branch just because this one kind of like comes in and around towards the tree. I'm gonna start fresh and go there. See what happens. Clean up some of these little cut points here. Got a plane above. I think I want to get rid of this little one back here. Got a little previous cut point. Another previous cut point right here. We'll see what happens there. Or, you know what, let's just get rid of that altogether because we have this back branch right here. It's so cool seeing this thing grow because this one is one that I've grown from seed since I think it was December of 2022. So it's really coming along. I think this can come off here. This is kind of distracting. And I think for the rest of this here at the bottom, I'm just gonna let be. This one will go in the plant room and we'll let it go for the rest of the winter. So we'll come back in the spring and see how it grows. But yeah, I'm extremely happy with how this has grown all summer. So yeah, that is it for today. So thanks for watching.